Your name is Danelia, right?
My actual name is Danelia, but my friends call me Yuki.
Okay, so let's get started. So let's talk about Mexico a little bit. Like, I know you were born here. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of Mexico? I know, like, if you go back, Mayans came, and then Aztecs came, and then Spanish people came.
I remember myself when I was a kid, like the story, like, no, the Spanish came here, they killed everyone.
Yeah. When Mexico got independence from Spanish, then Mexico also fought a lot of wars with US.
The Mexican territory was really important for everyone all over the world.
Why? For example, if a person is coming first time, so what do you recommend that person to go to?
That could be maybe tricky if you don't speak Spanish here.
Right. And why people don't speak Spanish or English here?
Because of the education.
Like in the school education, because if you know English, you can interact with the entire world. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask is like the safety. Some people, like from the American point of view, they think that Mexico is not safe. That's why they don't come. Is that true?
What do you think? How do you feel here?
Cool, let's get started. Thanks Danelia to be in my show. It's called Mindfulness with Manish. This is about a show where I connect with people on mindfulness, which is about being aware, like about consciousness and stuff like that. It's more into like deeper spirituality and like yoga and stuff like that. And mindfulness is a topic where basically you can find mindfulness as anything. You can find mindfulness in traveling, in yoga, in fitness, in traveling, in tour guides and stuff like that. I know I met you like 2-3 days back in the hostel. It's called Casa Pepe hostel in Mexico City. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Basically, where you coming from, where were you born, and how you became the tour guide basically here?
Okay, so well, I born and raised in Mexico City. I've been working in this hostel for around 6 years, since the very beginning of the brand, and I had the chance to work also in the one in Puebla, and also a little bit in the one in Sayulita. So this is my second job actually. I started working in free walking tours here in downtown.
Oh, nice.
So over there I've met the director of all these big projects, and he told me like, I like your tour, so why don't you become a host in a hostel?
Oh, nice.
So
you were born in Mexico City. Which part of Mexico City?
I grew up close by the airport, which is actually not Mexico City, it's the state of Mexico.
Okay.
But all my education and basically all my life has been closer to this area.
Closer to this area. Nice. That sounds, so basically what happened was you were born there and then you started doing the tour guide by yourself, or you were introduced by someone else?
I started working in a company, but I have a friend in a university, and with her we've started like traveling and enjoying museums, fairs, cultural events, and from there we started thinking, why not to share all this information that we are enjoying with the rest of the people. Yeah, nice.
And I think you are doing a good job because you are meeting with people and you are working with the hostels. People all over the world come and they do not know anything about Mexico City. So when I came to Mexico City, this is my fifth time. I've been here 4 other times, and I love Mexico City because it feels like India, where I'm from. So it feels like the same, like the people are really nice, the food is really good and stuff like that. So let's talk about Mexico a little bit. Like, I know you were born here. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of Mexico? I know, like, if you go back, Mayans came, and then Aztecs came, and then Spanish people came. Can you tell me a little bit about like the era, like, and the changes they did, and the bad things and the good things about the history?
So we do normally separate the Mexican history like pre-Hispanic and the non-Hispanic times, then the years that came after. So for the pre-Hispanic times, I think it's very difficult to talk about the eras, because every area of Mexico has like a different culture. Like Mayans, it's mainly only the Caribbean. Aztecs were only Mexico City. Teotihuacan was an older city than Tenochtitlan. We have Tula. We have a lot of cultures in Oaxaca. So basically, they were living together at the same time, and were different cultures, different languages. But everything changed once the Spanish people came here. That I think we've been talking on the walking tour, that I remember myself when I was a kid, like the story, like, no, the Spanish came here, they killed everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is not that fair.
Right.
Because we talk only from this side of the history. But the Aztecs were an empire that had many enemies. They have the control of everyone, so everyone just hate them.
Right.
So basically, all the cultures around decided to make alliances with the Spanish. So they decided to destroy a big culture. Yeah.
So let's take a step a little bit back. So basically, you mentioned Mayans came on the Caribbean side. So basically, when you say Caribbean, you mean like Riviera Maya, Cancun, Tulum, Playa de Carmen, that area, and they built the pyramids over there, right? Like Chichen Itza, right? And then Mayans were the oldest civilization, I would say, right? And then after Mayans, Aztecs came, right? And they were in the Mexico City area, and we see like Teotihuacan, were they built by those people?
No, Teotihuacan was it was a cosmopolitan city. So people from Oaxaca, from Tula, from the Mayan area decided to be there. But there is a myth or a legend that says, or even research, that they end up with all the resources, like the rivers, the water. So everyone just spread all over the territory again. And for example, that was when Chichen Itza came by. And also like the territory or the city of Cholula in Puebla. And over there, there was always communication in all those different cultures. So that is the reason why we do have some similarities.
Similarities between different cultures. Got it. So after Aztecs, who came to Mexico?
Hernán Cortés.
Hernán Cortés. Is
was,
that a culture? Is that a name of a person?
No, the name of a person. He was the leader of the Spanish people that came.
He was a leader of Spanish. So that's where Spanish people started coming.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And also I heard that when Mexico got independence from Spanish, then Mexico also fought a lot of wars with US. And because I went to Chapultepec Museum, I read there. Was that true? So they were continuously in fight with US?
Yeah, well, I think that the Mexican territory was really important for everyone all over the world.
Why?
Once that we were independent from Spain, because we were close by to the US and we were like on the way to go out South America. So we were the most important territory in all the side of the world.
Okay.
So more people from England, from France.
They want to come to Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, Mexico and India also have similar history.
Yes.
A lot of people, like ancient people, they want to go to India because India was the richest nation. I think same was Mexico.
Yes.
Mexico was also rich with resources. I think food, spices and stuff like that. That's why I feel like Mexico and India share a lot of like common things, which is great. Cool. So a lot of people used to invade Mexico, and that's where I see a lot of culture here, different culture, different architecture, especially in Mexico City, which is great. Can you tell me a little bit about, like, I heard Mexico City or the Riviera Maya, there's a lot of rivers underground. Especially I see it in the Riviera Maya because you find a lot of cenotes.
Yes.
Here there's no cenotes. Maybe there is if you dig up the ground and stuff. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Are there like rivers still underneath?
Yes, we have water underneath. Maybe not so many right now. We are just filling all the water. But all the territory of Mexico used to be a lake, and only the city of Tenochtitlan used to be this area of the downtown. And once that they defeat the Aztec Empire, they decided to put the city exactly in the same place. I think that happens all over the world. But when they realized that the population was growing and growing, they decided to
fill up all the water bodies.
Yes, so they drowned all the water, and mostly all the rivers that we do have here in Mexico City are in tubes. So
that happened during Spanish era. Spanish people did that.
Yeah.
Got it. And they did not do it in the Caribbean side.
No, that is another conditions. So those the cenotes were really useful in pre-Hispanic times to make offerings there and sacrifices and all those things. But they are like in the middle of the jungle, so it is very difficult
to do that over there because that was jungle it's still jungle. Like Tulum is still jungle. But it was, I can imagine, it was jungle, way more deeper jungle with a lot of like animals and stuff like that. Yeah, good. Good to know about that. So regarding Mexico, why Mexico is famous? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Why people love Mexico a lot?
Well, I think we do have a lot of things to be famous. but probably, I don't know. Well, here in the city, like Tequila, Mezcal, Party, Mariachi, Lucha Libre. I'm telling all the things that I love.
Okay, wait. I know these things, but for the audience, let's break it down. So tequila, I think everyone knows that. Mezcal, what is difference between mezcal and tequila?
So they are like brothers, but there is a difference into the procedure. So the tequila is also made only with the blue agave, and mezcal could be made for any other kind of agave. And they also burn the pineapples or the center of the agaves. So that is the reason why the mezcal it tastes like smoky. As well, normally a tequila it's like 25 degrees of alcohol, and mezcal could be from
40.
30, 40, even 50.
So what is the name of the plant which is made from?
Maguey.
Maguey
or agave.
Agave. Both tequila and mezcal both are made from agave or...
Yes, blue agave or another kind of agave.
So the process is different, how they make it.
Yes.
So what is the process, how they make it? Do you know that?
Not very, very deep, but I only know that they cook all the leaves and they just have the center that they call the pineapple because it looks like it.
Yeah.
And from there they cook it.
I see. They heat it, ferment it and stuff. I've been to Oaxaca, which is one of the cities which is famous for mezcal, right?
Mezcal.
And tequila, Guadalajara is famous, right?
Yes. There is a town called Tequila. So
there's a town in Guadalajara is called Tequila.
Yes.
And where tequila is famous.
Yeah.
And Mexico is famous in exporting tequila and mezcal all over the world,
Yep.
right? Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah. What are some of the... coming back to the question, why Mexico is famous? So you mentioned tequila, mezcal, mariachi. What is mariachi?
Mariachi, it's one of the regional music that we do have in Mexico. It's also very popular in like Guadalajara or Jalisco state. But here, like at 15 minutes walking from downtown, we do have Garibaldi Square. So over there we have the Museum of the Tequila and Mezcal, and there are plenty of
mariachi bands over there.
Yes.
So mariachi is people like 5, 6 people, 10 people. They play like big guitars like this and like play music and they sing happy music, romantic music and stuff like that.
Sad music, yeah.
Right? I like it because wherever I went, like for example parties or like good restaurants, they always have mariachi bands, which is great. Is that a culture from Mexico? Is that Spanish culture or is that like before that?
It's a mix, but mostly we have a lot of influence from
Spanish. Okay, sounds good. So that was one, and then you said Lucha Libre. Lucha Libre, I know from my understanding, I went to I booked my tour in Lucha Libre, not from the hostel. Like when I went like long time back, like 2 years back, I booked from Airbnb. So they took us to a place where we had tacos, like food, and then we went to Lucha Libre where they were boxing, they were fighting. It's like a WWE with a mask, right?
Yes.
That's what I know. And people were shouting with bad words like puta, and some stuff like that. I know puta is like dog. Yeah. So what is Lucha Libre about?
So it's a very popular sport, but especially here in Mexico City, we have 2 arenas. The big one is the Arena Mexico. So that is for more than 10,000 people. So that is
1,000 people?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is the cathedral of the Mexican wrestling. And it is different than WWE.
Oh, he's been hiding.
Because here in Mexico it is very acrobatic because they jump from the 3rd rope. They don't use anything but the body to fight.
They don't use anything in the body.
I mean, they don't use chairs.
Okay,
for example,
chairs. Okay.
Like in the WWE, and I think that over there it's more like a soft opera, like you go, and they are like start.
So
arguing.
where we go, basically it's a soft WWE, like Lucha Libre.
Yeah, and here it is like very acrobatic. They jump from the 3rd rope. They know how to jump and catch, and it is a very dangerous and very hard sport. I tried once, and no. Not for me.
But it's fake, right? It's all like they already scripted, like how they're gonna win, or is it the actual fight?
It is an actual fight, but I think it's a show, a performance. But as well, you need to be very, very in shape.
Oh, nice. So that's good. So Lucha Libre we talked about, and it's also Spanish or Mexican, or it's a mix?
It's a mix in between the sport from France, a tradition or a circus that came from the US, but it takes a really important image here in Mexico City. because well, in all over Mexico, because we have, I don't know if you remember, like these two kind of guys, the rudos, the bad guys, and the good guys, los
bad guys.
técnicos. So it is, they are the técnicos, like the Mexican superheroes. So that is the reason why it's very common to see many kids like just shouting and just having fun with families.
And why people wear masks? Why they don't show up their face?
Because they are superheroes, so they need to take care of their identity.
And if somebody takes off their mask, then it's a bad thing for them?
Yes.
So it's like an insult?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Cool. So Lucha Libre, and then you mentioned what else is famous in Mexico? Like if we talk about Mexico City, Xochimilco, you mentioned.
Xochimilco.
Xochimilco is famous for like boat ride, right?
Yes, because that's the only part of Mexico City
which
that
still has
we
river.
keep.
Which still has a river.
Yes,
River
a lake.
Lake,
the original lake.
Original lake. But it feels like a regular lake, you know. If you go to anywhere, it feels like, but it's like a very historic thing.
Yeah,
right?
Because as well, from there is the only thing that we keep the agriculture in Mexico City. Those artificial islands where all this used to look like. But as well, they are very colorfully, and we make party with the mariachi boat coming.
Yeah, Mariachi people coming. So it's like a party thing, but it's also like traditional, what people enjoy. What else is famous here in Mexico?
In Mexico City, I would say the museums.
Museums.
Yes.
What I know from the museums is I really like the anthropology museum. It talks you a lot of history, like how Mayans came, and then Aztecs, and then basically the Spanish people. You can spend entire day, or you can spend like 30 minutes. I'm not good with museums, so I spend like 1 hour or 2 hours, but you can spend the entire day. You also have Chapultepec Castle Museum. Somaya Museum is also very beautiful. These three museums, and also I think there's a museum nearby, it's National History or something museum.
The National Palace. The Fine Art Palace.
Fine Art Palace, yeah. So which is your favorite museum and why?
Anthropology Museum.
Why?
Because it talks a lot. Because it's divided first into areas. So the ground floor, it's only with the pre-Hispanic cultures, and the first floor is with the cultures that are still alive in Mexico. So you have this contrast in between the past and the present. So
I see. That's good. What about that other? Have you been to Somaya and other museums? Yeah. What is Somaya Museum about?
So the Somaya Museum, it is a private collection from Carlos Slim, which is the richest Mexican. Actually, he owns a lot of buildings here in downtown, so he spent a lot of money to give culture for all the people.
Okay.
So
he's still alive?
Yes.
So he's the owner of Somaya Museum?
Somaya Museum, and as well from Telmex and Telcel, which are the companies for telephone in Mexico.
Telcel, yeah. So he's a very rich guy?
Yeah.
Nice, okay, cool. Regarding other things, for example, if you talk about like Mexico, like Xochimilco we talked about, other things which are famous here, which I know is Teotihuacan, which is the pyramids. People go there for hot air balloons and also walking. Those are made by like which empire?
We don't have any information.
Oh, we don't have. I thought those were built by Mayans, no?
Well, I mean, they were all living there, but from the original culture, we don't have any clue because the city was destroyed, was burned, and so we don't have any books or anything that
tell about. So if you talk about, do you know about the history about that? Like for example, there's a moon pyramid, there's a sun pyramid, and I heard that they're connected with underneath tunnel. Is that true?
I don't know if they are like connected.
Yeah.
But also there is like a misunderstanding saying that it was one dedicated to the sun and the moon. There is a new research that says that the pyramid of the sun was dedicated to Tlaloc, the god of the rain, and the pyramid of the moon was dedicated to his wife, the lady of all the like lakes and all the water here in the earth.
Nice. Okay, so we talked about pyramids, we talked about museums. What other things are there in Mexico City to see?
The traffic, and then we are a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. The traffic is really bad here. You know, it's like going to like nearby, like Angel de Independencia is like 40-45 minutes walk, and same time takes like car. So I was thinking, why not I walk? So I was walking all the way there. So traffic is a lot. I think a lot of people work here.
Yes.
They live nearby outside, but they work in this area, Centro or Roma or. Yeah, let's talk about like how the Mexico City is divided. What I know is, like, I will tell you my information. I know we have the historic center is here, which is Centro. Then we have Roma Norte, we have Roma Sur, we have Condesa, we have Polanco. Right, the most richest part is Polanco.
Yes.
I see people driving Lamborghini and Ferraris over there. And the streets are really nice. It looks like you are living in some other part of the world, not
Like
Mexico.
some people call Polanco like the Mexican Beverly Hills.
Mexican Beverly Hills, exactly.
Yeah.
And then if you go a little bit down, then Roma Norte is another place which is a little cheaper but still expensive. I really like the cafes over there and restaurants. And then Condesa is also nice. So what do you feel about, like, what are the difference between Roma Norte, Roma Sur, Condesa, and Polanco from your perspective?
I do not see
Much difference.
many differences as a local, because for me, although, and if we include Coyoacan, that is like the nicest area for tourists, where you can walk around and feel totally safe. There are so many other areas that are mostly for locals, because not all the Mexicans speak English, for example. So that could be maybe tricky if you don't speak Spanish here.
Right. And why people don't speak Spanish or English here?
Because of the education.
Okay, they're not taught
No.
English. But don't you think that should be changed, like from the school perspective, like in the school education, there's, because if you know English, you can interact with the entire world.
Yeah.
Like, it should, like, for us also, I think we should know Spanish, because these two languages are very important. If we know Spanish, then you can actually go anywhere in South America, right?
Yeah.
So these two are very important. That's what I think, like that. But yeah, even a lot of like educated people also don't speak English here. Yeah.
Yes.
How do you know speak English? Like, how
I learned my English working here. in a
working
hostel.
here by yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I have just the basics, but here everyone was asking everything.
Yeah, in
So,
English.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I think if you're working in a tourism industry, speaking English is important.
It's basic.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't speak Spanish when they travel. That is true. Yeah, so great. We chat about different things. Let's talk about the profession. So, tour guide. Do you love your profession?
I love it.
So, why do you love it?
I think it is the coolest job ever. I mean, I'm sharing how cool is my country, my city. I share my favorite places. So if you're happy, I'm happy. And I met a lot of people here all the time.
Nice. That's good. So, how you provide? Think about, like, from the mindfulness perspective, which is the name of the show, which is mindfulness. How do you make sure you have mindfulness or awareness in your job or in your tour guide job? What do you think about that? Like, being aware, being conscious. How do you do that?
I think being a good host is part of the Mexican culture. And I think that I've learned that very well from my family, especially my grandmother and my mother, that we were always like, how can I help you? What is your plan for today? What is your interest? And I am going to do my best to
help you. Yeah.
Yes.
That is great. Yeah. So, as a tour guide, do you think, like, is a good business here? Can you expand your business? Do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It is very easy, because I think everyone wants to share like these cool things with everyone.
So, do you want to, like, start a company one day?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay, but you want to get some experience first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Are there other companies about tour guides in Mexico?
There are plenty.
Yeah.
See, and I think everyone is like in a specific kind of travelers.
Yeah.
For example, for companies, solo travelers, wholesale, hotels, boutique, everything. So it is a really big market.
Right. Talking about the Mexican traditions and festivals, I heard a lot about the festivals here, which is great, from the movies. One of the good movies I've seen is Coco. And the Festival of Dead is something which I'm aware about. It's famous in Oaxaca, right? Can you tell me a little bit about that and also other festivals in Mexico?
So, well, festivals and events we have here in Mexico City all over the year. But the Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead, it is a tradition that as well came from the pre-Hispanic culture and heritage, because they used to have this idea that there was no heaven or hell. There was only an underworld. So if you died by natural causes, you need to prove your value, kind of. So you need to take several proofs, several tests to rest for all the time. So they were buried with weapons, with food, with water, with items, with tools, with everything, just kind of the altars that we do put like nowadays during that season. So I think that celebration became very famous, but first it was for the movie from James Bond.
Which movie?
Spectre.
Okay, Spectre. Yeah.
I think it was.
It became famous after that. That's what you're saying.
Yes, because it started this this parade about the day of the before that movie.
So what you are saying is in the Mexican culture, you guys don't believe in like good, like after death you have hell and heaven.
Well, right now with the Catholicism, it is just Catholicism. But before the Spanish came here, we don't have this idea about
of hell and heaven.
No.
So after you die, in the movie it's shown, right? There's a different part of the world where all the dead people live, right? And they keep on crossing a bridge to meet with the living, but the living can't see the dead, right? Is that how Mexican people believe?
Yes, I think it's very special that day. I normally say that the whole year we are like living all our lives, but in those special 2 days, November 1st and 2nd, we feel a little bit closer all the people that already passed away.
November 1st and 2nd. Those are 2 days.
Yes.
Okay. And is it celebrated all over Mexico, but the famous in Oaxaca? Is it too?
It is, especially in the central part of Mexico and all the Caribbean as well, a little bit, but especially here in the part of the center of Mexico.
Got it. Nice. And also in the movie it's shown that if you stop remembering your ancestors, they actually vanish from the dead world. Is it true?
No.
No, it's not true. That was a movie thing.
I mean, the nostalgic of being closer with your family and all the people that you love, that is for real the Mexican.
That's a Mexican thing, yeah.
Yes. And I've heard that the staff from Disney travel around 4 years in Mexico before they start the movie.
Coco. That's good. I really love the movie because of the songs, because of the tradition, because of the colors. They showed everything, like Mariachi, they showed the music, they showed tacos, they showed like the festivals, which is great. Regarding that movie was great. What other festivals are there within Mexico which are people celebrate?
Like we have here the Independence Day that we do celebrate really big in Zócalo, in the main square. So the president will be outside the National Palace shouting like "Viva Mexico," and there's gonna be.
Is the president live nearby, like in the castle?
Yes, our neighbor here.
So that's where the actual president lives. Still, okay, and that's why there's a lot of policia around. Okay, got it. And also why, like I feel like Mexican and Indian culture, as I mentioned, is very similar. One is the family tradition. You guys are very closer to your family. Same with us. We are also very closer to our family. That's one. And the second thing is like the food. I saw. Do you know Iglesias? There's a comedian called Gabriel Iglesias. His name. He's Mexican.
No.
He's a comedian guy. So he also talked about that. So what he told is like Mexican and Indians are very similar because of the food also, because we love naan and roti and chapati. You guys love tortilla, tortas, which is very similar.
Yes.
Also you have beans, chickpeas. We also have the same thing. Spices.
Spices.
You like spicy food. We also love spicy food. Our skin color is also the same.
Yeah.
So if I travel in Mexico, people think I'm Mexican until I open my mouth. And in India, they don't think I am from India, right?
Oh.
You know. So I can be any other country. So yeah, but I love Mexico because of the humbleness. People are so nice, and the food and stuff like that. But some parts are very expensive in Mexico, which I hate about it, because you know when you come to Mexico, you feel like you are coming. You can save money, you can have some cheaper food. But if you go to Rivera Maya, Tulum, and that area, it's very expensive over there, right?
Yes. Yeah. Especially, I think the areas where we do have a lot of influence from the US, because if you go to Baja California, for example.
Baja California, see?
Yes.
It's expensive.
Yeah,
like that area is called Los Cabos.
Yes.
It's a little expensive. I think Los Cabos, Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, Tulum, Playa, Cozumel, those are, I think, I would say American influence.
Yes.
A lot of tourists come there. Mexico City, a lot of tourists come, but still cheaper. It can go all the way expensive. It can go cheaper also. Like Polanco, if you go, everything is expensive.
Yeah.
Restaurants. If you go here nearby, even this Mexico City, like Centro, is very cheap.
Yes.
So it's all about that. So good. Regarding, okay, we can cut about this. What should we talk about next?
Um,
Um, we can talk about like traveling. Have you been to other countries?
no.
No. Okay. We can talk about your family. Where they from?
Uh, my mom's side is from Michoacan state,
Hmm.
which it is very famous as well for the Day of the Dead.
Okay.
And my father came from Hidalgo state, which is like a little bit north from Mexico City.
Okay.
But during the 20th century, it was very common after the Mexican Revolution that all the areas around, well, all spread the country were kind of poor. So a lot of people decided to move into Mexico City. So from those years, the population here just started growing like this quick. And
Why?
Because it was very kind of poor living in all spread the country.
I see.
Living here in the city, it was very easy.
Very easy, yeah. So a lot of people come here in the
Yes.
city.
So my grandmothers decided to move into Mexico City, and after my parents finally met here.
Right. And is it like I see a lot of Mexican loves Estado Unido or US? Do they want to like settle, like from your perspective, do you want to settle in US one day? Like go, no? You like it here?
Yeah, I mean, for the US, I think it's very particular and awesome. The national parks, the nature that they have.
The nature is very big country, yeah.
Yes, but I mean, for the cities, I've been here all my life, so I think I have enough of cities with
Right.
the nature.
So you are more of a nature person or a city person?
I'm more a city person, but I do really like museums and history, and I don't think that the US have a lot of
museums.
Yeah.
I've seen some museums in New York City. Like there's a museum of natural history where a lot of dinosaurs are like not are there, but their bones and stuff like that are there. There's other museums also. Like there's a museums of like
a lot of
replicas.
museums of art.
Yeah, museums of art. Yes, yeah, things like that. That's good. Regarding so museums is great. Or Mexico City is also famous for like what other things Mexico City? Not Mexico City, but Mexico is famous for. Like tequila, mezcal, and all those things
And the
we talk
food,
about.
because every region, I think
It's
it's going to
different.
be totally different.
So if we talk about different areas, which like for example, if a person is coming first time, so what do you recommend that person to go to?
So here in Mexico City, to try the pastor tacos,
Okay,
which are kind of the brother of the shawarma or the kebab.
it's called pastor tacos.
Pastor tacos.
It's where? Where is it? Is it like Coyoacan?
No, I like
Everywhere.
everywhere in
Okay.
Mexico City.
It's like a name of a shop.
It's the name of a taco.
Name of a taco. Okay.
The pastor is the one that looks like a shawarma or like a kebab,
shawarma,
where
okay.
they are like just cutting
Okay.
all the meat. That's the origin of that kind of taco. In Puebla, you should go and try the mole.
Puebla. Puebla is like 2 hours from here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, mole. Mole is a kind of a paste, like a sauce.
Yes.
Right,
It's
you have
the
it-
one that has chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah. It's like sweet, little
Yes.
sweet.
It's sweet, but it's salty, but it's spicy at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about food a little bit. So we talked about mole, we talked about tacos. Everyone knows tacos. Other things are enchiladas. What are enchiladas?
Yeah, well, this is very, I think it's funny.
Is because I was traveling with my French friends recently, and they were also confused. They were like, everything looks the same.
See, I know. Everything it's tortilla, a tortilla
Cheese,
with
tortilla,
salt.
beans.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian, so for me it's like only beans, rice, and tortillas and cheese. That's it. Burritos, they put everything in that. Tacos, they put everything in the middle, and then I have the tacos. So
Yes.
it's the same. So enchiladas are like basically a triangle shape, right?
No, those are chilaquiles.
Those are chilaquiles, okay.
The enchiladas is the full tortilla, but covering all with the grain of red sauce.
Okay. What other things are there?
Here in Mexico City, I recommend to try with lacoche,
Hmm.
which is this fungus that grew up in the corn,
Okay.
and we only eat here in Mexico City. I think that is a really nice option for vegetarian people.
Okay.
The pumpkin flower,
Okay.
for example, as well, it is very nice. The cactus leaf or the nopales.
Okay.
It's
Nepalese,
well-
yeah. People eat cactus also here.
See,
Yeah, nice. Also, one thing I wanted to ask is like the safety. Some people, like from the American point of view, they think that Mexico is not safe. That's why they don't come. Is that true?
what do you think? How do you feel here?
I can tell from my perspective, it's very, because I come from India, you know. India is also the same as Mexico. There you have gangsters, you have all the good people, bad people everywhere. So same thing here. I feel like it's safe. But I have some like American friends, like girls mostly. They just tell me that, hey, I don't feel safe going outside in the night. But I think it's safe. But what do you think?
I think it is totally safe, especially touristic areas. There are gonna be a lot of police always, like
Everywhere, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, if you are walking in the sketchy neighborhood in an after party at 4 a.m., you need to be cautious. But if you are like in midnight in Roma or Condesa walking around, there's not gonna be any problem.
Right. And I think also apply your brain if you're traveling alone and you're coming out of a club or something. I think Uber is the best thing.
Yes.
Because if you have Uber, you know, like everything is tracked on the app, right? So I think, yeah. So to be safe, to be mindful about that. So I think that is really important. Like recently, my wallet got stolen in Bacalar when I was there in the Riviera Maya. But you know, that can be stolen anywhere because it was my mistake. I dropped my wallet on the ground and I realized it's not with me after 5 minutes. And then when I went back, it was not there. I saw in the security camera, there was one woman taking it. And I asked people around, I can't do anything. But yeah, that can happen. It's not a Mexico thing, it's everywhere.
Yes, it is like the other day when we were on the subway. It is very safe. It is very easy to catch the metro. You can go everywhere. The only problem it is you need to be cautious about the pickpocketing that could happen in Madrid, in Paris, in New York.
So which area a tourist should avoid here in Mexico City or entire Mexico?
I think the area around maybe the airport. It is kind of very local.
It's called. There's a place called
Tepito.
Tepito. We went yesterday with Frank. He mentioned there's a lot of gangsters who came from that region.
Yeah.
But it's fine right now. But he said not go in the night.
Yes, exactly. Lagunilla Market, which is where you were yesterday, it has been very popular in the last few years for all the antiques and all the flea market that it is nowadays, and for the drink and the party. But if you go after, I don't know, 4 or 5 p.m., there is going to be only local. So I should say that just avoid it.
And why Mexican people party a lot? Like from my perspective. So I will tell you, like from Indians or from American point of view, we think that Mexican people, they drink tequila all day.
Not all day.
They have tacos.
Sí.
They have big belly, right?
Sí.
And they party all day.
Well, there's always a good time to celebrate everything.
But you know, that means they are happy people.
Yes.
You know, life is short. You should enjoy life.
they only
enjoy.
have one life, so.
Yeah, I know they earn small money, but they still are happy. That's what that matters, right? Yes. That's what Indians are also. Indians also, like, some people drink, but most of the Indians are like vegetarian. They eat a lot. Like we have a lot of curry, which is made with butter or like oil, full of butter. And we have a lot of like stuffed naans, which is filled with like potatoes and stuff. We eat it. So most of the Indians have big belly. It's the same thing. We also party with the family and stuff like that. From the drinking perspective, we don't drink that much, but Mexican people drink a lot, which is fine. It's, I think, the culture and all about, right? So cool. So we talked a lot about Mexico and the traditions, and regarding traditions, I feel like Mexico is more colorful than other parts of the world. Why you guys love like colors, and is there a specific reason behind it, or is it coming from Spanish, or it's like
I think it is the result of the combination, yes, from Spanish first, but as well mixed with all the pre-Hispanic heritage that we already have. When they have plenty of murals, plenty of colors, they love the nature, they love the animals. So I think it's what I do really love the most, this combination.
Right. And especially that doll over there, can you explain me what is that doll about? Like, what is the name, and is that the movie Coco? That's where it's famous from?
No. So that character, it's called La Catrina.
Okay.
So she was very famous, I think starting the 20th century or a little bit older. And she used to be like a joke, like she wants the original author want to make fun about the rich people. Like, you are gonna be dead, you can have all the clothes, but they are not gonna be useful once that you are dead. So that is kind of the joke. She is as well in an important mural of Diego Rivera, close by Alameda. I think right now it's an icon for the Day of the Dead season.
Day of the Dead. Okay, and it's shown in the movie Coco also? No?
Not really. I don't think no.
Okay, you say Alameda. Alameda is the name of a place?
Yes, it's the park that is close by here.
Close by here, okay. And she is from there?
She's from cartoon artist.
Okay, cartoon artist. And what is the name again?
Of her, it's La Catrina.
La Catrina. And
Yes.
her husband? I've seen like there's two, like there's one woman and one guy, husband.
Catrina and Catherine.
Catherine, okay, the Catherine is the husband.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And they have children also?
No.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I've seen like when I was living in New York City, during the Festival of Dead, they also celebrate, like, a lot of Mexican people live, and I see dolls like her big in New York City as well.
Yeah, the Catrina, it's only when she's like very fancy in a nice dress, really colorful, like pretending to be rich.
Got it, got it. Cool. One last question I have is regarding the history of Mexico, what we have talked about, like Mayans, Aztecs, Spanish. What do you think from your perspective, what is something that you have learned which is really good from the history, which ancestors have done?
I think
And something you don't like about history, which they have not done good.
I don't like that sometimes Mexicans, we reject some things of our past, like this leader Hernan Cortés from Spain. For many Mexican people, it's like the worst villain ever. But if he wasn't coming here, probably could be the people from England, and they could make easily decided to kill everyone, and the history could be totally different.
Different, yeah.
Yes.
And you guys will be speaking English.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And we maybe.
So you think when the Spanish people came, they did the right thing?
Maybe not the right thing, but it is what it is. So we need to be respectful with the results, and the Mexico that we are now, it is a consequence of all that good things and the bad things that people do.
Nice. And what are some of the things which you don't like about the history?
Sorry?
Which you don't like about the Mexican history?
I think that we are very proud.
Proud?
Proud
of what?
Of what we are. Like,
okay, is it?
Yeah.
I see.
Like we love celebrate, we love colors, we like food and everything.
So Mexican people think that they have the good culture, they have the good tradition, they have everything within the country.
Yes.
They have beaches, they have party, they have tequila mezcal.
And maybe that is the reason why many Mexicans, we do not travel all around the world, because we have everything.
Everything here, exactly, yeah. You know, that's a good point, because we as Indians, we also don't travel a lot, because India also has everything. But Indians who come here or travel the world, they come from the US. So because US is nearby, but Indians from India, they don't come here. So that is a good point. Cool. I think we talked a lot about a lot of aspects, and I think I learned a lot, and I think the viewers also learned a lot. Anything last you want to talk about? The tours, about the travel, about anything, tradition, festival, to end the topic?
I think everyone needs to come to Mexico anytime, and there is going to be always something in Mexico that you can easily find in love with.
Yeah, that is true. That's why it's my 5th time here. I love Mexico a lot. There's always something different when I come to Mexico, because there's a lot of things to do. Food, festivals, restaurants, museums, a lot of things, and every place is very different, which is great. I love Mexico. Thank you so much, and thanks for being my guest. I hope you have a great evening. Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye.